The transformation isn't the hardest part. Keeping it is. I mean, peptides might help you lose weight, but they don't help you build physical authority. Retitrutide might be the most powerful weight loss peptide ever, but it comes with 3 risks almost nobody is talking about. Now, before we dive in, comment below if you're currently taking Reta or another GLP-1 so we can all learn and help each other, because by the end of this video, I think you're going to look at this peptide very differently. In fact, some people in clinical trials lost so much weight, they actually dropped out of the study. Because losing weight and building a better body are not the same thing. Now, retitrutide can make you lighter on the scale, but 94% of people eventually drift back to old behaviors and regain the weight. Only 6% sustain long-term results. Now, I call them 6%ers. And at the end of this video, I'll share 5 inputs that separate the 94% from the 6%. But first, what is retitrutide? So I'm sure you've already heard of GLP-1s or other semaglutides, and Reta is the next evolution because instead of just targeting one pathway like Ozempic or 2 pathways like tirzepatide, it targets 3. So Reta targets a GIP, a GLP-1, and a glucagon receptor, making it the most powerful drug in its category. Now, because of that, it's also been shown to improve blood sugar, reduce liver fat, and improve overall better cardiovascular markers. But here's the problem. See, most people don't ask, what kind of weight am I losing? Because that's where the real conversation about risk associated with Reta should begin. And risk number 1 is muscle loss. I mean, most people, especially after 50, aren't aware that muscle is your metabolic savings account. I mean, if you look at your TDEE or your total daily energy expenditure, or how your body burns calories each day, approximately 70% comes from your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. And the number 1 way to increase your BMR is, you guessed it, gaining and preserving lean muscle mass. Because if all you do is rely on more Reta or other GLP-1s or even more cardio without building muscle, you just become a smaller version of the same shape. A smaller pear apple, and in many cases, skinny fat, because losing 30, 40, 50 plus pounds isn't impressive if 10 of it is muscle. See, most people who have scale weight obsession create a bigger problem underneath. I mean, muscle is the signal, scale weight is the noise. Think about it. If you gain 5 pounds of muscle and you lose 5 pounds of fat, the scale doesn't move, but your body now has a faster metabolism and it looks better naked. So the goal should be body recomposition, not weight loss. Which leads to risk number 2, which is weight regain. My older brother is the perfect example. Love him to death, but his health insurance covered his GLP-1 prescription and he lost almost 50 pounds. And once his blood sugar stabilized, they stopped paying for it, and 1 week later, he was 10 pounds heavier because peptides don't work unless you do. Just like millions of other people, my brother wanted a solution, but what he really needed and still needs is structure. Because temporary motivation creates temporary results, and temporary interventions often create temporary outcomes. I mean, this meta-analysis of 37 separate studies is a perfect example. Almost every GLP-1 patient regains the weight. So peptides are powerful tools, but tools cannot replace habits, identity, or standards. If nothing changes between your ears, eventually the scale tends to follow. Risk number 3 is the dirty little secret of the peptide industry, because not all peptides are created equal, not even close. I mean, a huge portion of the industry is built around research-grade products that were never intended for human use. So potential issues can include inconsistent purity, reconstitution mistakes that can alter pH and dosing, contamination risk, and ultimately unpredictable outcomes. That's not optimization. And without professional guidance, in my opinion, this is gambling. I mean, most consumers see a cheaper price, so they assume they're buying the same thing. And that's why I partnered with a fully compliant 503A pharmacy partner for sourcing my peptides. But honestly, guys, the answer is not better sourcing. I mean, the answer is better compliance, because the king of all diets is adherence. So it's not about the strongest peptide. It's about the strongest system. Now, for more than 30 years in this industry, here's what I've learned. Peptides, just like anything else, are only tools. And again, they do not work unless you do. I mean, 94% of people fail because they never install a 6%er system. That's why I developed my QUESP control panel, CWESP. It stands for calorie awareness, adequate water, exercise, focused on strength training and gaining muscle, sleep, and protein. These are the 5 inputs that ultimately determine the body you build. I mean, peptides can amplify results, but they cannot override a broken control panel. That's where most people miss the mark. So if you're considering trying Reta, don't ask, how much weight can I lose? Ask, how can I be one of the 6% that keeps the weight off? Because that's the real game. The transformation isn't the hardest part. Keeping it is. I mean, peptides might help you lose weight, but they don't help you build physical authority. Systems do. You know, it was an interesting observation. The second my brother regained that 10 pounds back, he immediately reached out to me wanting more of that peptide. I mean, the goal shouldn't be to become dependent on a peptide. The goal should be to become the kind of man who no longer needs one. So if you're serious about becoming part of the 6%, grab my free 7-day Rip Grandpa Reset and QUESP control panel using the link pinned or in the description. And if you found this helpful, let me know in the comments what peptide you'd like me to break down next.